Hello students, today we're going to do lesson 3.9 on word sentences and equations. So let's just dive right into examples because that's really the only way that we do these. Okay, so example 1, it says the difference of a number and 10 is 37. So make sure that you write this down. If you need to hit pause, then go ahead and hit pause. Okay, we have a couple of things here. And how I like to show students to do these problems is to just go through the sentence and write what we're going to write above it. Okay, so the easy ones are to write like 10 and 37 above it because that's where those are going to go. So we have this word right here, difference. And if everybody remembers, difference means minus. But when they have the word difference, we're going to look for the word and that's where we're going to put the minus. Okay, where it says a number, we're going to put just an X or N. A lot of kids like to put N because it goes for number. So I have X minus 10, and then here's a new word we have is. When you have the word is, you need to use an equal sign, okay? I really should put that equal sign above it, so let's go ahead and put the equal sign above it. So there's our equation, okay, for the difference of a number and 10 is 37. So the way you're going to write that is X minus 10 equals 37. And that's your answer for that problem. Okay, so maybe I should have gone back up here and explained. We are doing equations now, and those are different than expressions. So before we did an expression, and an expression would be something like the difference of a number and 10. So we would just write it like that. But now we're doing equations, and the key part of equations, or if somebody says write an equation, is that first part, E-Q-U-A. That looks and sounds like equals, right? And that's what it is. So equations have an equal sign in it, and expressions do not. So when I'm writing equations, I'm going to have an equal sign. And word sentences are the same thing. A sentence means I'm going to like complete it, kind of like when you have a period in a sentence. So these sentences are going to have an equal sign. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now on this one, example 2, first I'm going to read this to you and tell you something about what we're going to be doing right now. It says if 23 is added to 4 times a number, the result is 143. What is the number? Okay, so I don't really know why they put this in this book, but in all of your examples and in your work today, it will say what is the number. They don't want you to solve that. In fact, in the instructions, it says do not solve. So make sure that you do not solve. All they want is an equation. So let's go ahead and solve this equation, or write this equation. We're not going to solve it. So before I told you the result is, that word is meant equal, and it does. But notice up here it says if 23 is added to 4 times the number. That does not mean equal. Okay, we're not doing equal sign there. But we are down here where it says the result is 143. So that part's easy, equals 143. But let's go up here where it says if 23 is added to 4 times a number. Okay, so we want 23 to be added to. So that means I'm going to move that at the end. And we're going to do 4 times a number, 4 times a number here. And then we're going to add 23 to it. So that means it goes after that. Okay, so there we have our problem. We have 4 times a number, so we're going to do 4n plus 23 because we're going to add the 23 to the 4 times the number, and that equals 143. Okay, so from commutative property, remember that's the one that says I can put any addition problem in any order. If you did the 23 first on this one, I'm not going to count it wrong, but I will probably rewrite it for you because it should be written this way, right? The 23 is added to the 4n, so it should be at the end. But I won't count it wrong, okay? But if you do that with minus, if it said 23 is subtracted from something, it has to come after it. So be careful on your wording. Okay, so speaking of that, we just, on this one, we have subtract it from. So make sure that you put it in the right order. So what I want you to do now is hit pause and try example 3 on your own. And then come back. Okay, everybody should be back now. You should have paused and now you're coming back. Okay, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to find the little sections that I know how to write. Okay, 3 times a number. I know how to write that. So I'm going to go ahead and write up above it 3 times a number, which is 3n. I know what this word means. Equals is going to be equal sign. And this, so I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to go 6, subtract it from. Okay, that word from means that the 6, subtract it from, is going to go at the end of the 3n because I'm subtracting it from the 3n. So now I have 3n minus 6 equals, and then I need 36 decreased by 4 times the number. 36 decreased by 4 times the number. Find the number. We do not want to find the number. We talked about that earlier. So I'm just going to cross that out. Okay. It will say that in your examples, in your problems for homework. So that's why I wanted to keep it in the examples so I could show you we are not trying to find the number. Okay, so now I'm just going to rewrite this. So I have 3n minus 6, which was up here, right? Equals, right here. And then I go 36 minus 4 times n. And that's my answer. That's it. Okay, it looks kind of hard because it has a lot of numbers in it, but I promise if you go through the sentence, it will be much easier. Okay, we have 2 more examples. So let's go to example 4. And this is a new one, so a lot of y'all might not know how to do this. Okay, it says 2 consecutive integers. Okay, I'm going to scroll up real quick and we're going to talk about consecutive integers. Okay, so consecutive integers. Well, first, an integer is like 1, 2, 3, 4. It can also be, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It could also be negative numbers, right? -3, -2. Okay, so consecutive means right after the other one. So to get from this number to this number, what do? I add 1, right? And to get from this number to this number, I'm going to add 1. So a consecutive integer means I'm going to add 1 to get the next one. So if I have x, if I have 1, then to get 2, I would do 1 plus 1, right? So that means I have 1 and 2. So let's take these numbers and let's change it to x's. So if I have x, what would be the consecutive integer? The next one would be x plus 1, right? The next one would be x plus 2. The next one would be x plus 3. Okay, so I'm adding 1 each time. So up here, so this is one of the numbers, and this is the other number. Okay, so that means I have x and x plus 1. So now when we go up here, it says the sum of 2 consecutive integers. Well, one of the integers is going to be x, and the other integer is going to be x plus 1. And I want the sum of those, so I'm going to put plus sign. Is means equals, and 49. So my equation is x plus 1 equals 49. Now, why is that? Some of y'all might not have caught that. The x is the first integer. Okay, I want 2 integers though, and the x plus 1 is my second integer. Okay, so look down here. Consecutive integers are going to be x and x plus 1. Okay, there it went. There we go. Okay, if x is 3, then 3 plus 1 would be 4. So those are my consecutive integers. Consecutive means one right after the other. Okay, so example 5, try to do this one on your own. So pause and do it on your own. Okay, now you've come back. Let's try to work this one together. Okay, hold on just a second. It says one number is 6 more than 3 times the other number. Okay, hold on just a second. I've lost my place in my book. I know y'all can't see what I'm doing, but I am trying to follow the teaching book. Okay, and just so that you know, we are skipping 3.8. So if you were wondering, oh, why didn't she do 3.8? For skipping that, I don't like spend a lot of time on that one because I kind of teach it in a different way than the book. Okay, it says one number is 6 more than 3 times another number. So some people like to say, well, they're talking about 2 different numbers. Let's use X and Y. But we don't want to use X and Y right now. We are only using X's. We don't get into X's and Y's until later, especially with equations. Okay, so if one number, we're going to say one number is X. So let's just call that X. Okay, and the other number is 3 times, or 6 more than 3 times the number. So that means it's going to be 6 more than 3 times another number is plus 6. Okay, and then the difference of the numbers is 34. So the difference means I'm going to subtract these 2 numbers. Okay, so I'm going to take 3x plus 6, and I'm going to subtract the x, and that's going to equal 34. Okay, and then that's all we're going to do right now. So when you solve it, well, I'm not going to show you how to solve these yet. We're going to solve these later. Okay, this is all I would do. Now, sometimes it will tell you to simplify your equation, and that just means that you would put together your x's, but I'm not going to have you simplify right now. If it tells you to simplify, it's okay to leave it like this. Okay, so in your example in your book, they put the x's together and they say 2x plus 6 equals 34. But I don't even want y'all to worry about that. As long as you have it like this, then it will be counted right. Okay? And that's it for today.